Wow. Muslims, he said, definitely hate you. That sounds like a campaign ad. Mike Rogers. Doesn't it? Yeah. Wow. Muslims definitely hate you. That's the real Abdul. Not this, and that's before he lost weight. You know, he went way out of his way to lose some weight. Here he is speaking at the Council of American Islamic Relations, CARE. Oh boy! So think about this. He's upset that they're banning Sharia law in the United States. Could you imagine? That's what he's actually upset about. Oh my goodness. What building is he talking about being bombed, by the way? Is it 9/11? What's he talking about? Huh. See, this is, this is him talking to the CARE Oklahoma branch. And what's happening now that he's won this primary, Abdul and Hassan Piker have become the face of the Democrat Party. And I was listening to Fox this morning, you know, that Fox and Friends early show, they come on at 5 a.m. And they're playing clips of him talking about giving driver's licenses to illegals. Fox News is helping get this guy elected. They're talking about him like he is an average Democrat out there that supports a whole bunch of liberal things. He's not your average Democrat. And for Fox News to sit around and talk about those things about Abdul as if he is your average Democrat, that helps him. But they're cowards over at Fox News. I got a couple clips I can't play on the radio, including this one. Here's the president in Vegas yesterday. This is one I can't play on the radio. So let me play it for you now. Great speech, by the way, given by the president last night, wasn't it? That's right. Right on, Mr. President. Yeah, exactly. Plain English. Plain English, not some foreign language. And it really tells you a lot. I got another clip or two that I can't play on the air, so I want let me pull. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on a second here. There's two clips I have I can't play on the air, so I want to get those out of the way. Oh, here we go. Here's the other one. Yeah, here's the Democrat Party boss, Abdul's best friend, his best bud, Hassan Piker, who said America deserved 9/11. Listen to Hassan Piker. Yeah, by the way, he did graduate medical school, but he never got a medical license, right? Like I have a degree in history and education. I don't have a teaching certificate. I don't have a teaching license. Am I a teacher? What do you guys have? No, I'm not, because I don't have the license. He graduated medical school, but he didn't get the license. My experience is I've known people that have graduated law school that never took the bar exam and never practiced law. And my experience has been that people I've known that they graduated law school and didn't take the bar exam, the reason they didn't take it was because they couldn't pass the bar exam. And they'd come up with every other excuse in the book that why they didn't do it. Is that true with Abdul here with the medical license? I don't know. Okay, no, this is not a progressive. This is not a Democrat. He's not a Democrat. He's a Democratic Socialist of America, officially. So he's not even a Democrat. He's not a progressive. And the reason that he's running has nothing to do with any of that stuff. But remember, Hassan Piker, who's the Democrat Party boss and best buds with Abdul. America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it. Wow. There you go. There's the face of the Democrat Party. Now, listen, you're all welcome to call in. The radio show will begin in a couple of minutes. And remember, all opinions are welcome. Whether you agree or disagree with me, you are welcome to call in. I've got a lot more to share from Abdul when the radio show begins. And the number is toll-free no matter where you're listening, and it is pinned in the live chat. All right, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are located. And if everyone could do me the favor of liking the video, guys, when you like the video, it really helps a lot. It gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. All right, so please, if you don't mind, like the video. And if you get that boost option, if you could do that as well, that would be greatly appreciated. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
It's going to be real quick for you. Before you go on the radio,
we got 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes till the radio show.
Let me tell you something. This is all about Charlie Kirk. 3 days before his assassination, he said that Islam and the commies are going to join. Very dangerous. People. Lebanon used to be a Christian country in the Middle East, and they were taken over by the Muslim Brotherhood, basically, and by the radicals. People, Dearborn, Michigan has to change their name. They're no longer a part of the United States. It's a fact. Nate Freeman went there. You can't imagine what Dearborn looks like today. It's not the United States. They've taken over one city. It's going to spread all over the country. That's why this guy got elected in Michigan.
Yep.
And with the Democrat Communist Jihadist Party of America. And this is all about eliminating Israel, and they couldn't get at us by doing it against, even the World Trade Center didn't take our position with Israel from them. And guess what they did? They decided we're going to come into the United States and we're going to take over the government. That way we'll get rid of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
This is just all, believe me, I tell you this, it's all about Israel, the ally of the United States. They blame the Jews for everything. They are literally Nazis. It's like having Hitler's Nazi party take over a city in Detroit, in Michigan. And that's Dearborn. So
Yeah.
there's no difference to me between a Nazi.
It's Dearbornistan, I guess, is the name.
Yeah, we changed the name of that. I mean,
Yeah.
you just hit the, that's a great thing for you to call it. because
Dearbornistan,
that's what it is. It's
yeah.
not the United States.
Yeah, Dearbornistan.
And
Yeah.
this guy, all these people come out of that. They come out of it's all an extension.
Well, all right, Richie, I've got less than 20 seconds, so I got to let you go because the
I'll
show
call you back
starts.
later.
All right, okay. If you're on hold, stand by. The radio show is beginning in about 10 seconds. Hang in there. If you're new, welcome to the program. Make sure that you subscribe, okay? We have 5 seconds. Stand by. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and holy smokes, do we have a lot to talk about. You know, it's really amazing. Democrats have always had problems, right? Democrats have always had problems, but the biggest problem that Democrats have always had over the decades, regardless of what the issues of the day are, the biggest problem the Democrats have always had are boundary issues. Boundary issues. They have no boundaries, and they do themselves in because they always push way, way too far. You can always count on that. And I've seen this happen time and time again in my life. And Hassan Piker and Abdul in Michigan have pushed so far that even Democrats in Michigan are now saying on television that they are going to vote Republican in November. So we're going to talk about this now because Abdul's the candidate. A lot of videos that we've not seen of Abdul are now becoming public, and I've got a ton of things we're going to go through on the program today and take your calls. All right, all opinions are welcome, and the number's toll free 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And this primary victory of Abdul and Hassan Piker running around is a great gift to the country because what happens a lot of times, the way that American politics works, we don't talk about this so much because we're always living through this rhetoric and news stories every day. We don't take a moment to sit down and observe at what's going on. But when you look at American politics, this is why I study history. You know, I study history and have a degree in history, and I love history. I read history every day. I love it. And if I'm not reading history or working, I'm probably watching a history documentary on television or something. And the way I don't study history to learn about dates, places, or battles. What I find interesting about history is cause and effect. And if you go history and politics, it's like dominoes. One falls makes the other one fall. So in history and in politics, something happens and there's a reaction, and something else happens, and that thing makes something else happen. And in politics, I'll give you a couple examples, and then we'll get to Abdul and Hassan Piker. So how did Barack Hussein Obama get elected in 2008? It's pretty simple. His election was a reaction to George W. Bush and Dick Cheney's lies about WMDs that got us into these wars that went on so long. When they were over, we had soldiers in combat who were born after 9/11. The war went on, started before some of our frontline soldiers were even born. Think about that. That's nuts, right? And there was the country. Now, I didn't vote for Obama either time, but the country was so ticked off at Bush for the WMD lie that Obama came right in. So 8 years later, a similar thing happened when President Trump came down the escalator. Now, there were like 15 people that thought they were going to be the Republican nominee, Jeb and a whole bunch of others, Lindsey Graham and others. And President Trump came down the escalator after just the disaster of 8 years of Obama, which I'm not going to go through. And he said, I'm going to build a wall. Mexico's going to pay for it. And he did both of those things and many more. And President Trump, in his first election, his first victory was a reaction to the lunacy of Obama. And even his re-election was a reaction to 2020 and then the auto pen, all right? So if you look at politics, like history, everything is a reaction. Something happens, there's a reaction, and boom. Abdul winning that primary the night before last and Hassan Piker have caused a reaction that you don't see all that often. Democrats and Republicans are joining together that I've only seen happen one other time that I can think of off the top of my head in my lifetime, and that was after 9/11. After 9/11, remember Billy Crystal, the Concert for America? He got up there and he said, there's no red, there's no blue, there's no Republicans, there's no Democrats, we're all Americans now. Remember that? And others said it too, not just Billy Crystal, but many said it. Because it was true for a while. And 9/11 brought a unity. I remember, I was on the air when that happened on 9/11. And it was such a traumatic time. And I remember going home after the show. We were on till 10 then. We used to be on till 10. And we were on till 10 a.m. And I remember going home after the show that day, what it felt like. And remember, everybody had the American flags on the window. We were driving around with our lights on. Now cars come where the lights are running lights all the time. But back then, all the cars didn't have running lights. We all were driving around with our lights on during the day with our American flags in our windows. And there was unity between Republicans and Democrats for a while. I don't ever remember another time of such political unity as that. That's where we are right now after Abdul won this primary. And if you haven't noticed, there's an energy going on right now against him. Well, already, and this is just the beginning, a whole bunch of things have come out about Abdul in the last 12 hours. I'm going to go through some really shocking stuff. So sit back, get your popcorn, and if you're driving to work, you might sit in the parking lot in front of work for a few minutes because you won't want to miss some of this stuff, I'm telling you. All right? Now, you all are welcome to call in, right? And on either side, you Democrats out there that are big fans of Hassan Piker and Abdul, you're welcome to call in and make your case for Abdul. I'm very much looking forward to it. But those of you that have woken up and said, hey, I'm a Democrat, but I can't support this, you're welcome to call too. And of course, concerned conservatives, and this is really a frightening thing. And some of the audio, and it's going to get worse for Abdul because he's been talking publicly for years. A lot of things that no one has ever heard before, you're going to hear on the program this morning. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It is a toll-free call no matter where you are located. I want to take a moment, though, before we break to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Yesterday afternoon, I was streaming my podcast yesterday afternoon, and it was thundering, it was lightning, it was raining. And yeah, it's hurricane season. Everybody calls it rainy season because they want to ignore it is hurricane season. And if you got a wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof, and you want to get that taken care of by Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, and you want to get it taken care of before that bad storm comes through. Because when there is a tropical storm, the way storms are categorized is by sustained winds. So you could have a tropical storm come through, and it's a tropical storm, but you're still going to get Cat 1 hurricane winds. If you get a Cat 1 hurricane, you can still get Cat 2 and 3 wind gust coming through. The categorizing of a storm is by sustained winds, and those wind gusts are pretty brutal. And if you've got a leak in your roof, you've got a loose shingle, you got a loose tile up top. And when those winds come through, it gets under that loose shingle, under that loose tile, and that's an entryway of wind into your house, and that's how your roof gets ripped off. And the next thing you know, you're in Kansas. But you want to avoid that. Call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. He's a good MAGA guy who will never sell you a roof you do not need. His number, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, so you can call or text 954-604-4602, or go to the website laportaroofing.com. We'll be right back. All right, we're in radio break. Now, if you'd like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat, and you are most certainly welcome. So here's Hassan Piker and his famous quote.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
I mean, is that one of the sickest things you've ever heard? Really? Is that one of the sickest things you've ever heard? I'll tell you, it's sick. I hear Hassan Piker, who's now the party boss of the Democrats. He's the kingmaker, yeah. He decides what Democrats win elections now. Isn't that exciting? Yeah. He's the Rush Limbaugh of the Democrat Party today. The influential guy with all these lunatic followers. If you're not offended or disgusted by Hassan Piker's comments, you could not be an American who remembered and lived through 9/11. You just can't be. I remember when 9/11 happened, an attack with a loss of American life greater than we lost at Pearl Harbor. And this was worse than Pearl Harbor, and at least Pearl Harbor was a military target, and 9/11 was a 100% civilian target. That's what made it terrorism. And you think about those people who were trapped in the World Trade Center towers above the collision point, and they had no hopes of getting out. No elevators, no stairwells. They're in rooms filled with fire, and they didn't just jump out of the windows. Their human instinct to survive even for a millisecond longer forced them out of the windows to their deaths. And he says we deserve that? I'm not a big supporter of hate crime laws and such, but that one, that is a hate. That's hate speech times infinity. And what's crazy about it is he means it. It's that thought is in Hassan Piker's bones. It's not some throwaway line. We're still in radio break. We'll be back in about a minute. It's not some throwaway line. He meant to say it. He meant it hardcore. And it was almost like it was inside of him and he had to get it out. We'll be back in 45 seconds. So if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free. It's pinned in the live chat. You are all welcome to call in. And those of you out there on the left that are calling me this and calling me that, you are welcome to call in too and share with me where I'm wrong. This is the party boss of the Democrat Party today. He's the one who decides who wins elections in the Democrat Party, who gets nominated. The number's 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And everything you're going to hear is in Abdul's and Hassan Piker's own words today. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We're talking about Abdul in Michigan and the new party boss of the Democrat Party, Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker is the Democrat Party boss who decides who wins primary elections now. This is the famous quote of Hassan Piker. I added the bleep. The bleep is him saying the F word. This is Hassan Piker, the party boss of the Democrats, Abdul's best friend, talking about 9/11.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
Wow. I think that may be the ugliest statement I've ever heard someone make. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Harley, and I live in Wisconsin.
All right, can you put your mouth closer to the phone?
Yes, can you hear me clear?
Yes. Oh, get ready, Mike. I can hear it coming. Yes, I'm ready, Wisconsin. We can hear you. Let's go.
Okay, so you're asking, are some Democrats thinking, I don't know if I support this new movement of the Democrat Party. And, Hong is running for governor, and I'm reading what she's saying and has said in the past. And even thinking back how Democrats are, not long ago and to today, I don't think they're thinking, do I support Hassan Piker? Do I support Hong? They are thinking they do, and they are supporting them. This is who they truly are.
Yes. Yeah, it's like they came out of the closet, the left.
I was listening to Scott Bressler yesterday on Benny Johnson's show.
Mm-hmm.
Shamelessly. But I like them. But sometimes it's a little...
Scott Bressler, I've known Scott Bressler for many years before he was famous. And he is a great MAGA man.
True. Honestly, if he could be CEO of Turning Point, I think they have real hope to turning that organization back around.
Or certainly be the front man at the schools like Charlie used to do and things like that. Yeah, Scott Bressler's amazing.
Yeah. Appoint him to some sort of top position like that. Exactly. Anyway, he was going on about how we can turn these moderate Democrats into Republican voters, of how far, Hassan Piker, Hong, Michigan, how they're talking and acting. I disagree. No. These so-called moderate Democrats are going to move more socialists and communists.
Well,
And
where I would, there are, I don't think so. Americans, when Hong, and I mean, I've been talking about this about her for weeks. Hong is the communist that's running for governor of Wisconsin, for the liberally impaired in the audience. She's a racist. She's openly said she's uncomfortable around white people, even though her child is biracial, is Asian and white. She says she's from Korea. She's never clarified whether that's from North or South Korea. I'm not kidding. And I don't know if she's not, I'm not kidding, she hasn't. And I'm not sure that she's not Chinese and CCP. But what you have with Abdul and Hassan Piker, they scare the daylights out of Americans of all political stripes, the so-called moderate Democrats or traditional Democrats. They are scary, and for good reason. And I think a lot of people will wake up. There's been red pilling of Democrats going on during the whole Trump era, and a lot of them may not vote Republican, but they'll stay home, maybe.
I hope you're right, and I feel like your last sentence statement made sense. If they're not going to move Republican, they will just stay home and not vote. I think that's at best what could happen. Now, it's possible we could have a different candidate for president that might move those moderate Democrats to Republican Party, depending who our candidate is.
Yeah.
And we have Tom Tiffany running for governor in Wisconsin, and
Well,
I've met him before.
Well, no, I want to keep it kind of focused here, but one thing about Abdul, he was born in Michigan. His parents are from Egypt, but he was born in Michigan. And the Democrat Party, I know this is nuts, but we're talking about these Democrats. Hassan Piker, the Democrat Party boss, and those around him, they actually think Abdul could be president one day. You understand that? They're thinking of running him for president. It's crazy.
Even if he wins Senate?
Yeah, sure. Maybe not in 28, maybe in 32. But they believe that they can make him president. They actually believe it. He's the first one of them who is natural born. A lot of these Democrats, socialists, commies are not natural born U.S. citizens. He is. He was born in Michigan. So he's eligible to be president.
Wow. Yeah.
Could you imagine?
I'm real curious. I can actually see it happening, them running an actual Muslim-backed. And, $60 million campaign on the other candidate to try and beat them, and they didn't win. And I hear the funding is from AIPAC, and it's a sign of concern. I
don't know if it's a funding for AIPAC, and I don't know why anybody would be concerned about it. Hold on one second, I'll answer these other lines. But, by the way, you're a good caller. You should call. Are you new to the show?
This is my first time calling, and disregard the last statement I had. I should have said that.
No. You can say whatever. You can say whatever you want. Now you're welcome. Call me again sometime. But the 60 million. The Democrats spent a total of $65 million in Michigan. 5 or 6 of it was for Abdul. The other 60 was for the woman running against him with the funny voice, the cartoon voice. And I'm going to share the details of this later in the program today. But there was a breakdown. Okay. There was a breakdown of who won what, and Abdul only won in the college towns, and the opponent, she didn't just win in the suburbs. She won the black vote. The black vote in Michigan did not go to Abdul. It went to the other Democrat that lost. So you can't win a statewide election only winning the college students in a general election. It's not. There's not a viable path. If we have a good turnout in Michigan, he won't make it. But he is the face of the Democrat Party today, no doubt.
Agreed, 100%.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, this, in my opinion, is the Democrat Party. Their true colors are showing, and I am glad it's finally come to light. All
right. Hey, listen, I got to run for a break, but take care. Great call. Call me again. Those of you on hold, stand by. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. We'll come back with more of your calls. The number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back right after this. All right, those of you on hold, stand by. I'm going to go to the phones right after the break. Stand by. All right, guys, we are Back. Welcome, one and all. Gen X, thanks for gifting those memberships. I appreciate that so much. We will be back from the radio break in a couple of minutes, all right? So if you'd like to call in, please do. Those of you on hold, stand by. The number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are tuned in from, okay? And all the calls, those of you that are new, the calls are 100% screenless and unvetted. Nobody answers the phone. When you call in, I just put you on hold, and you're on hold for however long. And then when you hear me say, you're on the air, what's your name? Where are you calling from? That's when I first know who you are and where you're calling from and everything else. And we do that by design. That's the format of the show. We could have somebody answer the phones, but I think it takes away from the spontaneity, rawness, and excitement to do that. So, we do that on purpose. And if you disagree with me, you are welcome to pick up that phone and call me out on the carpet. In fact, we encourage it on the program. All right, we're 1 minute away from returning from the break. So if you're on hold, hang in there, people. Less than a minute away, and I'm going to go right to the phones when we come out of the radio break. No, there's no context where that's good. Okay, there's some things you can't, you can't put in a good context. You're welcome to put it into a good context, but that's the whole quote, right?
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's no good context for that. All right, 15 seconds. Liberals, they just make crap up. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine, Brian.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
It's very saddening and very sickening that anybody could say that about a 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
It's very disheartening that these Muslims have infiltrated whole cities and states, and it's only the blue states, and getting away to say that. I believe in the freedom of speech, but there is a line where you call 9/11, America deserved it. That's not free speech. People died.
Americans died.
Almost 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And how did we get here? That they've done it gradually, but now they don't care, and they blatantly diss the president, the American way of life.
Yes.
And want to fundamentally change America, just what Obama said he wanted to do.
That's right.
Well, the American people, we the people, have played the Trump card, and we have elected President Trump, and I believe he won 3 times. And we're going to fight, fight, fight. This is our country. We believe in God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, and he's coming back soon, the Lord. And we need to stay engaged with everyone that will talk with us rationally, and we need to get out the vote, and we need to win in November. And I'm getting ready to cry, because this is the time for us to do our job as President Trump has done for us.
Yeah, no doubt, Jeff. No doubt about that.
Everything. He has almost sacrificed his life for us, and we can't let him win, Brian.
No, and we're not.
And we're in a fight for the life our country, our founding fathers gave us, freedom. And and I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to be able to be part of this show and meet so many fine people. And I'll tell you, I had to block so many people. Some of those comments, I just don't want to see them. And we have to realize that we're not fighting people. We're fighting principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. And our battle is
starts on our knees, and we need to pray for our country.
No doubt.
And Brian, I really appreciate you. I believe we're good friends, and someday I'm getting down there, and I'm going to meet you face to face, because this is a great show with the great people.
Well, thank you,
And
Jeff.
we're going to take, and God bless you, Brian.
All right, Jeff from Maine. All right, you take care. Thanks for the call. Yeah, I agree with him. This is some pretty scary times. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. Doc from Texas.
Hey, Doc. What's up?
Hey, man. How you this morning?
Doing all right. What's on your mind?
All right. Hey, I just wanted to say, I was just happy to catch a little bit because I was looking at YouTube just now. You was talking about, I can't pronounce his name, the guy that won yesterday.
Abdul.
Abdul. Okay. They talk about running in for president. Isn't he a citizen in the United States?
He's a natural-born citizen. He was born in Michigan, yes.
So he can run. If he wants to run, he can run.
Sure.
So what's the problem?
Are you out of your mind? He's palling around. His best friend is Hassan Piker, who said America deserved 9/11. And throughout the course of today, I'm going to share quite a few unearthed videos of Abdul that I'm going to share on the air. And by the end of the show,
Brian, that's fine.
you'll understand.
Let the people decide. And they be done.
Well, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, Doc. All right, take care. Oh my goodness, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hi. Good morning, Brian. This is Danielle from Michigan.
Hey, Michigan. What's up?
Just crossed over into Dearborn, going to work.
Oh, Dearbornistan.
Well, hey, yeah, that's where I'm at. But hey, Brian, we're gonna make the Muslim of Michigan pretty famous, and this Piker, the clip that you played with what he said about 9/11, we're gonna make him famous. That brings chills to me when you play that and when I hear that.
Mm-hmm.
And the association that this Piker has not only with the Muslim in Michigan, but he's trying to get it with other people. And I think it's the one Hong or something.
Hong is the communist running for governor of Wisconsin.
Correct. So we're gonna make him famous. But just real quick, I haven't really watched a lot of local news, but I've been paying a little bit more attention. People in Michigan are horrified. Even the people that are Democrats and they're interviewing and they're talking about what's just happened, they're not going to be voting for this radical.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a huge wake-up call for all of us. And I think, Brian, to be very honest with you, the closer we get to the midterms and the more these people spin out of control, even their own party, not just in Michigan, but their own party is. I mean, this is lunacy on high speed right now.
Well, it's what I'm sensing since yesterday with Abdul's primary victory is a unification going on across party lines in this country, because he's scaring a lot of Americans. Many of them are Democrats.
I agree 100%. He is scaring a lot of people, and I want you to continue to play that Piker clip.
Oh, yeah.
I do have one friend that's never even heard of this Piker person, and I'm like, I can't wait to, show you the clip.
Yeah.
But it's really quite scary. But Brian, I don't even think he got half of the vote in Michigan.
Well, the way that he did. It was a three-way race, but there was a breakdown. He only won the college towns. And the woman with the cartoon voice that came in second place, she won the black vote and the Hispanic vote and all the suburbs. So you can't win a statewide race just winning some college kids. But
yeah, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen in Michigan. Let me tell you something. It's gonna be Rogers all the way. And I'm looking for Rogers and James. They better get out there, and they better get out there strong, and it better be quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've got to take this state back. Because I'm telling you, Michigan used to, we need to take Michigan back. It needs to be red, period.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll keep you posted on things that happen. But I'm in the lovely Dearborn going to work. So
all right.
Have a blessed day.
All right. Take care. Take care. Yeah, so here's the famous clip of Hassan Piker and saying that we deserve 9/11.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
Yeah, the beep is the F word. Yeah, that's the Democrat Party boss, the Democrat Party kingmaker. So a lot of audio is coming out of Abdul that we haven't heard before, but now he's the guy. Now he's the man. And it's only going to get worse moving forward. And there's a lot of very disturbing audio of Abdul that you're going to hear on the program today, where you're going to hear the real Abdul. All right. And here's an example. This was said right after the Ayatollah Khomeini was killed on the first bomb that we dropped on Iran.
This is going to destabilize the region. I also want to remind you guys that there are a lot of people in Dearborn who are sad today. So, I just don't want to comment on Khamenei at all. I don't think it's worth even touching that.
Wow. He's concerned about people who are sad that the Ayatollah Khomeini is dead. What the heck?
This is going to destabilize the region. I also want to remind you guys that there are a lot of people in Dearborn who are sad today. So, I just don't want to comment on Khamenei at all. I don't think it's worth even touching that.
Wow. Who would be sad over the death of Khomeini? No one who's an American. You know, being an American is more than having citizenship. You can be a citizen of the United States and not be an American in your heart and mind, right? That's true. Like Mamdani, right? Is he an American in his heart and mind? I don't think so. Now here's Jake Tapper on CNN with Abdul.
20 weeks ago, told your staff, according to the audio of you by the Washington Free Beacon, quote, there are a lot of people in Dearborn who are sad today, so I just don't want to comment on Khamenei at all, unquote. I thought that quote was interesting because the Ayatollah has killed tens of thousands of innocent
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're not asking me about the service members who died. You're not asking me about whether or not this war should have ever been fought. You're not asking me about whether or not the costs that are being borne by Michiganders and the tax dollars we pay, or the gas prices that are insane right now, are worth it. And so let's have a conversation based in Michigan. I'm running for Senate in Michigan, and I think here in Michigan, all of us are probably sad about the fact that we went to war that we never should have fought. I'd rather our money be spent here.
I was specifically asking you about comments you didn't want to make because you didn't want to offend people in Dearborn.
Yeah, exactly. What Abdul is going to try to do, and it's not going to work, he's going to just try to sound like your average liberal Democrat. But people aren't going to buy that. You know, Fox News, I was listening to him early this morning when I was doing my show prep. They were covering Abdul, and they were playing clips of him talking about giving illegals driver's licenses and such. Fox News is they're afraid of the elephant in the room with Abdul, and Fox News just wants to, they want to talk about him like he's just your average radical Democrat. He's not a socialist or a communist. That's a cover for what his real agenda is. And Fox News, if they keep cowering out and go that direction, not only are they making themselves irrelevant, they're helping Abdul. But that's not where the rest of the country is. This guy is scary. He's the face of the Democrat Party, Abdul, for good reason, because he's scaring the daylights out of good American people. Many of them are Democrats. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Lighthouse Medical Center, and to those of you that suffer from neuropathy or have a family member, a spouse, an uncle, an aunt, a grandma or a grandpa who are suffering with neuropathy, there is help, there is relief, and you can get your life back, a neuropathy-free life with Lighthouse Medical. Let me tell you, neuropathy, whatever stage of neuropathy you're in, it only gets worse. Whether you're in the earliest stages, middle stages, or the late stages, it only gets worse unless you go to Lighthouse Medical Center and have it treated. They have a treatment for neuropathy that works and it lasts. All right? And I have seen it work in Steve Kane, and I have met many listeners in this audience that are living a neuropathy-free life now, including some that go on our annual MAGA cruises. I've had people tell me, I would not be here on this cruise if it were not for Lighthouse Medical Center ridding me of my neuropathy. Get your life back. Be able to go to the store. Be able to go to the mall. Be able to take vacations. Be able to go out to dinner. Be able to drive again. Heck, be able to walk in your own house without falling down. All right? Call Lighthouse Medical. The consultation is free. If you mention you heard them on the Steve Kane Show, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right, we'll take our last break of the first hour, and we'll be back right after this. All right, now if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number is toll-free and pinned in the live chat. And I'm going to get to more of these clips as the show goes on. All right, so hang in there.
Have you ever wondered what it truly feels like to battle the darkest corners of the human mind? From author Mara Solis comes a deeply moving psychological novel that you will want to add to your must-read list, The Never-Ending Maze. Available at Lulu.com and Google Play Books. Written in the form of a personal diary, this intimate and emotionally powerful story invites readers into the inner world of a woman searching for hope while confronting loneliness, broken dreams, depression, and the desire to be understood. The Never-Ending Maze explores whether healing, purpose, and light can still be found even in the deepest darkness. Through heartfelt reflections on relationships, faith, mental health, art, and the struggle to keep moving forward, every page offers an honest and unforgettable journey. This book also makes a great addition to your book club. Order your copy right now on Lulu.com and Google Play Books. The Never-Ending Maze from author Mara Solis.
All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We will be back shortly. We are still in radio break, okay? And I'll go to the calls when we get back from the radio break. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. If you're new, please subscribe. I'm here live every morning of the week, including weekends. And anytime I'm in one of the studios that I broadcast from, I am always taking live calls, okay? So we'll be back in less than 2 minutes. Hold on. Double check. Yeah, less than 2 minutes, about 90 seconds. And I'll be taking the calls then. And I've got a lot more audio of Abdul Unplugged. The number is toll-free and pinned in the live chat. I see a lot of very opinionated people in the audience. You're all welcome to call me out on the carpet, live on the air. The number's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. But I imagine most of these lefties are keyboard warriors and complete cowards. But you're welcome to call. And if you all could like the video, please. When you like the video, that helps so much. It spreads the word about the channel and when you like the video, it gets the video recommended to people on YouTube that have not yet found the channel. So please like the video if you don't mind. All right, less than a minute and we'll be back. not true, DD, or you wouldn't be in the chat room. If that were true, why would I let you talk in the chat room? All opinions are welcome. 20 seconds. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Brian, this is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
I'm going to expose Abdul. I want everyone to listen here, okay? Abdul could care less about the money spent by President Trump on the war with Iran. Abdul is full of garbage because Abdul is not. It's not about the money for him. If you were to tell Abdul, we're going to spend twice the money we've spent on this Iranian war that he says we shouldn't have got in. Had we gone into Israel and attacked Israel, the United States, Abdul would have said, spend twice as much, get rid of them, kill the Jews. That's a fact. Nobody wants to pay attention to that. It's not money, and it's not we're in a war that we shouldn't be in. He is a supporter of the Iranian government. His whole family background is a supporter of the Iranian government. He's got connections to, I believe it's his father-in-law had something to do with CARE. If you go into seeing what these people are all about, you'd realize, if you ask him, who do you support, the United States or Iran?
Yeah.
He would tell you Iran if he wasn't running for the Senate. The fact is he's a lying hypocrite that infiltrated this government, along with his pals in Dearborn, Michigan, who have taken over a whole city and made it Muslim USA. I mean, not for nothing. I don't care if they call me whatever they want to call me, Islamophobic. I don't care. It's not about that because there are moderate Muslims that are not.
Well, that's what they use, Richie. That's what they use to try to shut you up, right? They call you a bigot and Islamophobe just to try to shut you up.
Yeah, this is bad news for the United States. It's really bad news.
Or it's a great gift. It's a great gift. I mean, look at how energized people are to stop this guy from getting elected now.
Well, it all comes down. It all comes down to Israel, Brian. Whether you want to believe this or not, they were. It started in 1948 when Israel beat them in the war, and they couldn't sway the United States from being an Israeli ally. They no matter what they did, the United States backed Israel. So what did they have to do? They couldn't get it. They bombed the World Trade Center. Had to do it once again. United States and the Middle East and Israel. So now they said, well, we couldn't. We bombed the World Trade Center. We couldn't get anywhere. Now we have to get it to the country, get into the colleges, get it professors, get into the government. Small, like in New York City, but now they've spread out to Michigan. They're out in California. They've combined with Bernie Sanders, who's worse, probably the worst. I don't even call him a Jew. He's a communist, and he happens to be worse than the Soros with the money because he's actually on the inside.
Bernie Sanders is a corrupt public official who is the greediest, greedy when it comes to money. He's the greediest politician in Washington. He's worth millions of dollars, and that's all he cares about.
All he cares about is getting communists elected. He doesn't care about the people. He's never had a job.
No.
He has never worked a job.
His first Bernie Sanders.
McDonald's, he couldn't do it.
Bernie Sanders' first full-time job was when he was about 35 years old. He got elected mayor of his local town. That was his first and he lived with his parents when he got elected.
He was a hippie in Israel, and I basically heard that he didn't want to work on the kibbutz, so he ended up back in the United States.
Yeah,
because he didn't want to work.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Lazy grifter. He's a grifter.
He's a bum.
And now he's an old communist bum who has a whole bunch of young people that are not happy because when you get told every day, well, you can't get a job because you're not good enough or you're a person of color. If this is what you're taught every day, what do you think? How do you think you're going to go out there, put a suit and tie on, and look for a job?
Yeah.
No, you're going to say, The United States is corrupted and against us. The Republicans are awful. They're terrible people, and Trump is the worst in the world. But now you got Chuck Schumer. Imagine backing a jihadist and you're Jewish. You're the head of your party, but you're scared to death, and you're going to put Democratic
Schumer, to
money in
me,
back of a jihadist.
Bernie Sanders is corrupt. He just wants to get paid. But Schumer looks terrified. He looks scared.
Sell out. And that guy in New York, the congressman in charge there, the other one that I think is mentally challenged.
You got to be more specific. AOC?
No. I forgot his name. The guy in charge, the minority leader of the Democratic Party.
Oh, Dollar Store Obama, Hakeem Jeffries.
There you go. There is a man that's mentally challenged.
Oh, yes.
He says the same thing every 5 minutes, and it comes out of his mouth like this. He's not all there in the brain. I don't know how they put him in there. I mean, not for nothing, he's a stupid man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have to tell you. And this is just a movement of communists and jihadists. And I told Brian, just look at Dearborn, Michigan at the end of his show. You too, Dearborn, Michigan, if that's what you want for the United States, then you go vote for Abdul. If that's what you want, go for it.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous.
Yep.
It's really ridiculous. Our country is taking over the first city, and you want to know how this guy Abdul got in there? He not only the college votes, 100% of the Dearborn, Michigan votes went for him because they're jihadists.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't speak English. They're illegal, and they're
Yep.
walking around. The women are covered up. You think you're in the
I
middle.
wonder if they have I wonder if the ballots in Dearborn, I'm serious, are bilingual. Are they in English and Arabic?
Yeah.
Are they in Arabic as well? I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know.
Guaranteed. Or else they just see an Arabic name and they vote automatically for it, Abdul.
I guess. I don't know.
Remember what they would say? It's the greatest name,
Yeah.
Mohammed or whatever the heck. Mohammed is the #1 name in England. You want that to happen to the United States, folks?
And as I was saying earlier, their plan is to make Abdul president. They see a path for him to be president because he was actually born in Michigan, so he's eligible to run.
Charlie Kirk was a major voice for young people in this country. Now, my opinion is Nick, the gentleman, the young reporter that risked his life, would be perfect
Nick
on
Shirley.
college campuses.
Yeah, Nick Shirley.
He would be perfect.
Yeah.
Because you got to respect the guy. You got to respect him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a religious man, and he believes in the United States of America. I went to Vietnam, my people. I went to Vietnam because the country said, you got to go. I love my country. I want to keep it my country. I didn't go to Vietnam and risk my behind to start electing Jew-hating jihadists. I mean, these people are the...
Well, Hassan Piker and Abdul love their country as well. It's just not this one, right?
I told you. If you ask Abdul, who do you support, Iran or the United States? If he told the truth, he'd tell you Iran.
Exactly.
That's the problem here. He's
Exactly.
a lying politician that just wants to get.
All right, Richie, I gotta run, but a good call. Appreciate the call. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free 888-465-2631. But what we have here with Abdul in so many ways is a gift, because you see the energy and unity that the country is experiencing right now against him. Now, after the top of the hour, I'm going to go through some more of the newly unearthed sound bites of Abdul. And I got to tell you, the great Laura Loomer has an archive of these, and others are also releasing things. So after the top of the hour break, I'm going to play the real Abdul, the stuff they've been sitting on and hiding from us during this primary race that are now becoming public. But first, I want to talk about Friendly Tire in Margate. I first found Friendly Tire in Margate many, many years ago, before they were a sponsor, out of necessity. I had a four-wheel drive Jeep Wrangler that had the humongous oversized tires, and I got such a great deal on that Jeep. And the first time I had to buy tires, and I went around to the regular tire shops, I understood why. The tires were so expensive. And I found Friendly Tire out of necessity, because, at Friendly Tire, the tires are so low in price. You can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. It's absolutely amazing. And when I say out the door and on the road, remember, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tires. So new tires as low as $75 a tire. He has thousands of good used tires in stock as low as $35 a tire, and that's the out the door on the road price as well. He also does tire repairs, which other tire shops don't, and he can get all the name brands you know and love. I'm a Goodyear guy. I like Goodyear, but if whatever name brand tire you like, he can get it for you. And he can also get tires for any type of vehicle. Give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call right now. He'll give you a quote over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. All right, we're coming up on the top of the hour break, so we'll get into more after the top of the hour. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take your calls after the top of the hour break. The number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, no matter where you are listening. And we'll end the hour with the new Democrat Party boss, Abdul's best friend. This is Hassan Piker.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
Well, pretty scary stuff. That's right. That's the boss of the Democrat Party. He's the kingmaker, Hassan Piker. He decides who wins primaries. You need his endorsement to win a Democrat primary today. Think about that. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We will take our break for the top of the hour, come back with more on Abdul, Hassan Piker, and your calls after this. Okay, guys, if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number is toll-free and pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. Those of you that are Medicare recipients, give Chapter a call and speak with one of their licensed Medicare advisors. They cover the entire country, so no matter where you are in the United States, call Chapter. They'll review your Medicare policy at no charge. And the reason you want to do that is a couple reasons. One, you want to make sure that you have the right policy for you. You want to make sure that you have the policy that covers your doctors, your specialist, your medications, your local pharmacy. You also want to make sure that you're not paying too much for your supplement. Give them a call. They'll review your policy at no charge right there on the phone with you. If the policy you have is the best one, they'll tell you. But because Chapter is a national company, they have access to all of the over 25,000 Medicare policies nationwide. So they'll find the one that matches you and your needs and, of course, your budget. Give Chapter a call right now, 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. Give them a call, all right? 805-754-3033. Okay? All right. Okay, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes on the radio, and I've got a lot more I'm going to cover on Abdul. Oh, man, the gift that keeps on giving, Abdul. He really, a major wake-up call in this country. He's scaring the daylights out of people is what he's doing. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have about less than a minute, and we'll be back. Okay, we'll be back in less than a minute. Yeah, everyone, please like the video if you don't mind. You know, when you like the video, it helps so much. It really does. It gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So please like the video. It does help out a lot, guys. 25 seconds. No, all opinions are welcome. Then the toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. Welcome back, everyone. My name's Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brother Brian, good morning.
Hey, IB.
No Bluetooth, man.
Good.
Regular phone.
Oh, good.
It was me. I hung up with my cheek the other day.
Okay.
The contrast. Remember, a couple of days ago, Abdul said, that is the most famous name in America. Now you're hearing a tape saying, oh, because of my name, I was bullied. Because the name would be obscure, not normal. So they lie right into your face. Once again, he just proved that he's a hypocrite, and they lie in the moment. Like I say, it's just another tool, an arrow in the quiver. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to point that out to people. You cannot have it both ways, my friend. You cannot have the most famous name.
Well,
Yes,
you know, it's
so
interesting to me that whether it's Abdul or Mamdani, all the Muslims are telling us they're the victims of 9/11. After 9/11, the Muslims were the true victims. Don't you know that? The Muslims are the ones who were victimized on 9/11, not Americans.
Let's not forget about all of the Muslims that were jumping up and down in the streets in Jersey and New York when they hit the buildings, okay? Who was doing all the clapping?
Exactly.
Them. They've been here all along, and they're trying to take us down. But you know what? There's a picture with George Washington, Trump, I forgot who the other person was, and they all have the feather. The feather was the pen back in the day. What were they going to sign? What is Trump going to sign? That is part of the story I was telling you about. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. And the rope is getting tighter. He's letting them tighten the rope even further. With all these communists all across our country doing what they're doing, showing their true colors, like I say, sticking their heads out of them holes. But what that picture represents is what he's going to sign in the future to round them all up. Have a great day, everybody.
All right, take care, IB. The rest of you on hold, hang in there. So a lot of video and audio of Abdul has been dropping all over social media, things we've not heard before. Here's Abdul. This is a while ago because he's a lot heavier here. He's gone through a physical makeover. He's buffed up and everything else. And he's on stage with a bunch of people, Democrats, including that one idiot that just lost, the one that couldn't speak English. I forgot his name. But listen to what Abdul says here. This is Abdul Unplugged. Yeah, see, that's what IB was talking about. See, you know, after 9/11, let's not forget the real victims, the Muslims. Now, Governor Whitmer is sitting there on this panel he's on.
This kind of Islamophobia, this kind of racism, in the context, right, that they are running to represent the state that has the highest per capita number of Muslim Americans in the country. Now, you might not hate Muslims, but I'll tell you, Muslims definitely hate you.
Did you hear that? Muslims definitely hate you, Abdul just said. On stage, Governor Whitmer's sitting up there with him.
In the context, right, that they are running to represent the state that has the highest per capita number of Muslim Americans in the country. Now, you might not hate Muslims, but I'll tell you, Muslims definitely hate you.
He said, you may not hate Muslims. He says Muslims, but I use the American pronunciation of things. He says, you may not hate Muslims, but Muslims definitely hate you. That's Abdul. That's Abdul. That's right. Now, here is, isn't that scary? You may not hate Muslims, but Muslims definitely hate you. That's Abdul talking. Okay, here's a video of him speaking at a CARE group, the Council of American Islamic Relations. Now, don't worry, he does switch into English. He's just beginning in Arabic. Boy, he's taking issue with Sharia law being banned in the United States. I think that building he's talking about is Oklahoma City. He skips over 9/11. See what he's saying? He's trying to shut you up and not talk about who he is and what he is. And if you dare challenge him, he's going to call you a racist.
But it's tempting to believe that those things are in the past. They say those who forget their history are doomed
to repeat it. Yes, yes.
Tonight we're here to support an organization dedicated to the civil liberties and civil rights of Muslim Americans.
The Council of American Islamic Relations, Kerry's talking about. And I'll tell you, about a week or so after 9/11, you know, we had a representative of CARE in studio. We didn't know about him yet, but we had a representative of CARE in studio. And we had to do something that we only did a couple times in my memory, and it happened both with Muslims in studio after 9/11. We had this guy in, and the things it's about a week or so after 9/11, and he was in studio with us. The things he was saying were so frightening, we had to end the show early because it was so insane. He was in studio with a gentleman by the name of Joe Kaufman, who's running for Congress in South Florida right now. You may see his billboards around, Joe Kaufman. He was in studio with us, Joe Kaufman, and we go to a break, and Joe Kaufman mentioned something to him during the break. Like we're talking during the break, and it's like a week or so after 9/11, and Joe Kaufman says something to this CARE guy, and he says, as a Jew, such and such, and the guy says, "You're a Jew," and he said it with a smile in his voice, and then Steve said, this was during a commercial break, and he says, "What's wrong with that?" And Steve says, "I'm a Jew. What's wrong with that?" And he says, "You're a Jew too? You're both Jews?" And he started laughing. And it was like Vincent Price at the end of the Thriller album kind of laugh. It wasn't like a funny laugh. It was like a terrifying laugh. And we come back from the break. I'd never seen anything like this before. We came back from the break, and he said all the Jews got out of the buildings before the planes hit the World Trade Centers, and that the planes were not actually flown by the 9/11 hijackers. They were flown into the buildings by remote control, controlled by Jews, who were remote control of the planes. And there were some other things he said. It's been a long time. It was a week or so after 9/11. And I remember we were in the middle of a segment. We had about an hour and a half of the show left. And we was like, all right, thank you for your time, and we'll get out of here. I mean, it was really scary. It was really scary. And that's the Council of American Islamic Relations. And this audio that I just played where he's talking about the true victims of 9/11 being Muslims and how CARE's this great group and everything else. He's there alerting them at the outrageousness of Sharia law being outlawed in America and how outraged he is over this in this speech Abdul's giving. And CARE donated a lot of money to his campaign as well. This is a scary guy. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. After the break, I've got more. A lot of audio of him that we have not seen before has come out. And I'm glad it has, because Abdul is the face of the Democrat Party now, and we're going to go through more of this when we get back from the break. This morning when I was doing my show prep and I was setting up my video on YouTube, an old video of mine popped up. Videos get recommended to you, from you, and a video of mine got recommended to me. That was an old video of me when we had our studio in Boca. Remember the studio we had in Boca that was at the top of the office building with the big window behind me, the one where that hawk flew into the window when I was on the air that day? And I saw myself, and I could not believe how heavy I used to be. And I was looking at I barely recognized myself, and my face was just another face. Right now, I got a square jaw, you can see my chin, I got a neck. I just had a round face and everything. And I'm talking, and I walk away, and I give a profile, and I saw my profile, and I was like, holy crap, that the shadow I was casting was like Alfred Hitchcock Presents there. I couldn't believe what my belly, how big it was in that video. And it's quite embarrassing, but it's still up online for the world to see. And of course, those days are gone, thanks to Dr. Zuckerberg over at Coastal Weight Loss Secret, the home of the metabolic reset. I've lost so much weight, more than I reveal, but my original goal was 25. I lost that in 3 weeks, and I lost a lot more than that. And I've kept it all off without exercise, eating foods I would normally eat. I didn't starve myself. And I didn't take any pills, shots, none of that stuff. And Dr. Zuckerman at Coastal Weight Loss Secret, he completely reset my metabolism, and I have not gained 1 ounce of it back, and it feels so great. And when I saw that video of me before I lost the weight, at first I was like a little upset and even embarrassed somewhat. But then I started to feel good, because that's what I used to look like. And I don't look like that anymore. And I weigh what I weighed 30 years ago when my wife and I got married. I have a flat stomach now, as opposed to that partially obstructed view that I was dealing with before I lost all the weight. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-359-3418. And remember, they can help you lose weight no matter where you are located in the world, okay? 561-359-3418, 561-359-3418, and online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back. All right, callers on hold, stand by. I've got a lot more to share with Abdul. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, please do. Okay. Okay. I can't believe it's Thursday already. Okay, if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free and pinned in the live chat, guys, okay? Stand by, guys. We've got about a minute. We'll be back. Less than a minute. We'll be back. 30 seconds, guys. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you want to call in, the number's toll-free and pinned in the live chat. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig, and this is Florida's longest-running radio show. Okay, so if you're just joining, a lot of new video and audio of Abdul from Michigan has resurfaced since yesterday. And, you know, this Abdul, his primary victory has been a great gift because it has unified Americans like I've not seen in years against what's going on. Now, Abdul and Hassan Piker have become the face of the Democrat Party, and it's a well-deserved face. So Hassan Piker is the leading Democrat candidate for anything in the whole country, and Hassan Piker is the kingmaker. He's the party boss. And this is the famous quote of Hassan Piker.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
Wow, isn't that crazy? That bleep is the F word that I bleeped out there because he's very big on the F word. And this is so highly offensive, even CNN is questioning him on it. Yeah, this is CNN, Caitlin Collins, and she's talking to him about Hassan Piker.
You know, it was a really tough primary. Obviously, I know what you described Haley Stevens, they sued for the large impact bank account, said hopefully they could find some ways to teach her how to string together two coherent sentences. That was your quote. She is now supporting you, now that you've won the nomination. Are you going to invite her to campaign with you out on the trail?
Look, we need everybody together to beat Mike Rogers. I'm grateful. We had a great conversation this morning. We talked about a hard-fought primary. You know, I've known the Congresswoman since 2018, since we came together. And again, whatever our disagreements, the disagreements we have with Mike Rogers and Donald Trump are so much bigger.
Bigger than that Israel shouldn't exist? I mean that's pretty big. What does Mike Rogers believe that's bigger than that?
And in the heat of a primary, you're going to say something you later on would rather have not said. And I think we have an opportunity right now to focus on what needs to be said, which is that Mike Rogers is an existential threat to the affordability of Michigan, which is already pretty low. That taking on Donald Trump and holding him accountable for his abuses of power is a critical goal, and that addressing the fact that people deserve health care and housing and good schools is a key goal that we all share. So we're coming together as we need to do to defeat Mike Rogers and defeat Trumpism.
Okay, so what Abdul is trying to do here, and some liberals are going to let him get away with this, but he's trying to act like a regular Democrat now, right? The primary's over, he's trying to act like a regular Democrat. He's not a Democrat, socialist, communist, okay? That's just a cover for what his real agenda is, right? And let's see what Caitlin Collins does here.
Also, given how many votes she got, will she be on the campaign trail?
Look, I should hope so. That's a choice that she gets to make. But all of us coming together around the slate that we built. Look, we've got some great candidates on that slate. You think about the Lieutenant Governor, Garland.
All right, let's see if she asks any other questions.
Some Democrats who are worried that you cannot defeat Mike Rogers come November. How do you plan to address those concerns?
Okay, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, this is just, the left in a state of denial about who and what this guy is. I got some other clips here of his that I want to share. Right, hold on a second here. Now this is this one is getting. This was before he won the other night. This is the Democrat that is making the rounds. Right, he will not vote Democrat. Well, well, well. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug. What's up?
Yesterday I talked to two liberals. I said, now that you see that these Democrat socialists are hurting your real Democrats, what do you think? Should we ban them? Oh, no. It's just we have our candidates. I said, but they're beating you. We have our candidates, and as long as we have people that are anti-Trump, I think we'll win. I said, but you're losing, man. What's wrong with you people? And they just, we just can't do that in America. I said, no, you can't. Freedom of speech is one thing, but you can't say there's a fire when there's no fire in a theater. These people are making poison to the country. No. That's what you want to do, man. You'll pay the price.
Exactly. They don't seem to mind.
They are going to pay they don't, and I'm hoping that the American people will wake up and make sure that we don't elect any of these bums. Because
what I'm seeing for the most part is an energy against everything that Hassan Piker and Abdul represent. For the most part, you still have your liberal lunatics out there, but I see, as I was saying, in Michigan, he won the college towns and the Muslim neighborhoods, but the number 2 girl, she won the black and Hispanic vote. Think about that.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot.
Oh, and by the way, Abdul, is that the one that he says is an American name?
Yeah, he's the one who said it's the most American name, Abdul, yeah.
But most American, yeah. my wife is pregnant. I don't even, I missed that somehow. When I was looking at names, I certainly didn't think about Abdul, man.
Yeah.
To say something like that, it just shows how insane these people are. I mean, Abdul is an American name. Yeah, I mean,
I have never known an Abdul in my life. I've never had a friend, acquaintance, or coworker who was named Abdul. Do you?
I mean, I do trade shows with people come all over the world, and I don't remember meeting any Abdul either. So, man, I'm telling
well,
you.
Go to a trade show in Abu Dhabi or something, or Qatar, or Saudi Arabia. You'll meet some Abduls. Or Dearborn, Michigan. If you go to a trade show in Dearborn, Michigan, you may meet an Abdul.
That's for sure, man. It's sad what's going on, and I'm hoping that the country is waking up and the people finally go away. I mean, and then it's the media too. I don't remember the media talking about the Green Party very much, or the Communist Party but all of a sudden they're pushing the Democrat. They use the word Democrat, and right away they got to put them on TV.
It's true.
It's really sick.
It is. It is. All right, Doug. I gotta run. But I'm up against a break, but I appreciate the call. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this. All right, guys, hang in there. All right, hang in there, guys. If you're on hold, stand by. And we'll be back shortly, okay? Stand by. Okay, we have less than a minute, and we'll be back. Less than a minute. Okay, hold on. Got to cue something up here. There's a clip I'm looking for. There it is.
Like you think about.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. And I was telling you all there's a lot of video that's been coming out about Abdul, and I've been going through some of this, and it's things that have been previously unseen. And what's happened with Abdul is that it's been a wake-up call, and there's a lot of unity going on in the country. There's still some liberal lunatics, never miss those. But this is one of the clips of Abdul that's very revealing. Have you seen this one? Let me play this for you, then we'll talk about it.
Like, you think about if you're on Instagram, like, has access to my Instagram account, and like the things that I actually look at on Instagram, right? Of course, we get served that on your For You page, but then like every third video that scrolls on its own is going to be some OnlyFans model, and it's because it clocked me as being a 40-some-year-old man. Like,
Okay. So, for those that don't know, OnlyFans models are pornographers. They're porn actresses that do it live, and they're regular people at home. So he says every third ad on his Instagram feed is an OnlyFans pornography model. The way that Instagram ads work, this is a very controversial thing with Instagram. Instagram knows everything you do and say. And you are served ads on Instagram based on a couple of things. One, the discussions you have, because your phone's listening to you and feeding that information to Instagram. Okay? I've seen this happen many times. Instagram monitors where you are, and like one time my wife and I, we were watching QVC in the kitchen with David, and this was a couple years back, and he had the guy on with the copper skillet, and we were talking about the copper skillet, and then all of a sudden my Instagram feed is filled with copper skillet ads, okay? Instagram also serves you ads based on what you're searching for online. It monitors that. And, my Instagram feed is filled with ads for microphones. All the time, I'm getting served ads for microphones and card shows over the weekends, because on the week my daughter collects Pokemon cards, so sometimes I go to weekend conventions with her to card shows, and it knows, so I get card shows. He's getting served ads for OnlyFans models, Abdul, because he's watching pornography. That's just the way it is. Okay. He's watching pornography, so he's getting served up ads for pornography on his Instagram feed. So my guess is the reason that he talked about this was a deflection, because he's running for office, so some people on his staff saw his Instagram feed, and they're like, "Oh, Abdul, what's the deal with all of this? What's the deal with all this pornography, all these OnlyFans ads?" And he's like, they because I'm 40 years old. He got busted. By the way, what does Islam think about those who consume pornography? I don't know. I'm not Muslim. I don't know. It seems to be a pretty strict religion to me. Could you imagine if there was a Republican somewhere who it got found out that his Instagram feed is filled with OnlyFans models? Do you think the media would, do you think that, if it came out that there was a Republican running for office whose Instagram feed on his phone was, and it's on his private phone, okay? It's served by what you're looking at on your phone, okay? So he watches pornography on his phone, is what it tells you. Could you imagine if that happened to a Republican? Do you know what they would do? If a Republican, every third ad on his Instagram feed was an OnlyFans pornography model, they would have computer engineers that are retired Facebook people and everything else, and Instagram people. They would be on CNN, and they would explain how the algorithm works and why that Republican, what he would have to do to have every third or fourth ad be pornography. But Abdul, his best friend, says we deserve 9/11. Every third or fourth ad on his Instagram feed is pornography. Oh, nothing to see here. Assalamu alaikum. Nothing to see here. Just move on and vote Democrat. It's amazing to me. Democrats have a license to do whatever it is they want to do. They're like James Bond. Here's another, this is an interview that Abdul did.
What do you think is going through Usha's head when he talks?
Okay, now this is a big one, and I can't play the rest of it because there's some salty language. Usha is J.D. Vance's wife, who just had his baby. So what he's talking about there is he's projecting his racism, right? He's projecting his racism. And he doesn't like white people, so he just assumes that no one who's not white, doesn't like white people, that J.D. Vance's wife doesn't like that she's with him. Well, she's married him and had, 3 children now with him? No, not everyone's a racist, Abdul. You and your friends are. And this was a very concerning comment to me. He's talking about Jews who don't have to be afraid. Listen to this.
I want to speak specifically to an issue that has been focused on in this race. To my Jewish American sisters and brothers, one of the most indelible memories of this campaign will have been the opportunity to break bread with you at Seder, to worship with you at Shul.
Yeah, how many of you Jews want to go worship with Abdul or some other Muslims? Is that what Jews like to do, is worship with Muslims?
I want to speak specifically to an issue that has been focused on in this race. To my Jewish American sisters and brothers, one of the most indelible memories of this campaign will have been the opportunity to break bread with you at Seder, to worship with you at Shul, to be embraced by you. And listening to sisters and brothers who said, I want to join this movement because AIPAC doesn't speak for me. Because I understand that self-determination for one people does not require the quenching of self-determination for another people. That unless all of us are free, none of us are free. I want to tell you the great gift that you've given me. And to all of my sisters and brothers of the Jewish faith, or any faith at all, or no faith at all, I want you to know that my commitment to your safety, my commitment to Jewish safety, is the same commitment that I have to the safety of my own daughters.
Well, since when did this become an issue? Jewish safety. Since when are Jews living in fear in America? I guess in the Dearborn area and in Abdul's circle, Jews are afraid. I wonder why. Don't worry, Jews. You don't have to be afraid of me. I'm Abdul. I'll go to shul with you. You don't have to be worried. We'll go to shul together. Never heard of such a thing. He's talking about Jews who are afraid. I thought Jews were safe in America. But this AIPAC, see, this is what this guy's agenda is, and it's really the Democrat socialists. That's not what Hassan Piker, Abdul, and the rest of his friends are all about. That's a cover. It's about putting AIPAC out of business. What the enemies of the Jews, the enemies of Israel, they have come to this conclusion that they could wipe out Israel if the United States would just stop giving them money so they can buy weapons and defend themselves with. So what can we do? Well, we can get our people elected to the House and the Senate, and we can get rid of AIPAC. And if we can get rid of the Jewish lobby, the Congress controls the purse strings, and we can get rid of the Jewish lobby, Israel's funding will be cut off from the United States, and then we'll be able to wipe them out. They've only been able to stand up to us because the United States is funding them, and the reason that the United States is funding them is because AIPAC puts so much pressure. Listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene talk about AIPAC's influence over the Republican Party. So we need to get our guys like Abdul elected so that we can stop AIPAC from lobbying members of Congress to give money to Israel to defend themselves from us. And then we'll be able to wipe them out. That's what the goal is. That's what the goal is. And you can hear it in the comments from him and others. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call, I've got more from Abdul that I'm going to get into after the break. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax. Listen, if you missed the tax filing deadline this year, don't panic. Call Jamie Levac. He'll take care of it for you. If you have years of tax years you have not filed for, don't worry. Pick up the phone and call Jamie Levac. Get something to write with. I'm going to give you Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. I'm going to give you his number in just a moment. And the number I give you rings directly to Jamie Levac. So you can call or text him at the number I'm going to give you in a moment. He can help you with your taxes no matter where you are in the United States. If you owe money to the IRS, call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. He'll take care of it for you. Even if you've already made arrangements with the IRS, call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. He'll take care of it for you. We have one listener who owed money to the IRS. Jamie Levac looked at his back taxes, found out he didn't owe money to the IRS. In fact, the IRS owed him money and he got the checks. Can you imagine? That's amazing. Jamie Levac is amazing. So, you hear these national ads that if you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS, call us. Well, those companies charge a fortune. And if you're in debt, you don't have the kind of money to pay those guys. Jamie Levac at Swift Tax does that for you at a tiny fraction of the price that those national companies do. Also, if you're a business owner, give him a call. He can help you with your business taxes, your payroll taxes, even your bookkeeping. And those of you that are part of the gig economy, Uber and Lyft drivers, Uber Eats, Door Dashers, people that are in that type of industry, call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. And, if you're doing your own taxes and you're in the gig economy, you're paying way too much money in taxes, Jamie Levac at Swift Tax will set you up, okay? Give him a call. This number, again, rings directly to Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. Call or text 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587. We'll be right back. All right, hang in there, guys.
Makes a great addition to your book club. Order your copy right now on Lulu.com and Google Play Books. The Never-Ending Maze from author Mara Solis.
All right, guys, hang in there if you're on hold. Oh, this was the best. Yeah, I got to play. This is the best. I got the best. One of the best clips I've ever played is coming up next. Don't miss it. All right, stand by, guys. 30 seconds and we'll be back. Oh man, the show is flying by. I mean, I'm over 2 hours in. All right, welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, the Steve Kane Show. You know, and I've been talking a lot about this great gift that's been given to the country, really, because it's a great gift for the Republicans and the MAGA movement in the midterm elections. And that is Hassan Piker and the primary victory of Abdul in Michigan, because people are scared to death. And I totally understand why. And Hassan Piker has become a kingmaker. I've got a clip in a moment that is of Bernie Sanders, where you're hearing Bernie Sanders, maybe for the first time, be completely honest. All right, so stay tuned for that in a second. Hassan Piker has become the party boss of the Democrat Party during this primary election cycle. His endorsement is, okay, you've won. If you're a Democratic Socialist Commie Democrat, it's insane. And I was telling you guys yesterday that Hassan Piker, the Democrats view him as their Rush Limbaugh. Isn't that crazy? And this is the famous quote of his about 9/11.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
Wow. I mean, that is a pretty sick and twisted statement that we deserve 9/11. It's pretty bad. So Bernie Sanders, he's a real beaut. He's kind of like the father of the Democrat Socialist of America. And he was on CNN, and you get a brief moment of complete honesty from Bernie Sanders. Listen.
To give you an example, one of the more controversial ones is that Piker has said America deserves 9/11. Are you comfortable with that association?
No, I am not. I think that's a dumb statement. On the other hand, he has a whole lot of followers, and there's a lot of things that he's saying that are making sense to a lot of people.
Did you hear what he said? Yeah, you know, yeah, so what? He said that America deserved 9/11, but he's got a lot of followers. See, that's how the Democrats talk. When you're not supposed to say that out loud. That's what the Democrats say out loud when they're in rooms alone with each other. Yeah, he says we deserve 9/11. He's an anti-Semite. He hates America. He hates Jews, and he believes the hijackers were right. But he's got a lot of followers. Oh my goodness. It's crazy town. All right, let's see what else Bernie has to say.
To give you an example, one of the more controversial ones is that Piker has said America deserved 9/11. Are you comfortable with that association?
No, I am not. I think that's a dumb statement. On the other hand, he has a whole lot of followers, and there's a lot of things that he's saying that are making sense to a lot of people. I think, we have to get above cancel culture.
Cancel culture. We got to get above This is so outrageous. Even CNN can't. We got to get above cancel culture. Yeah, he said we deserve 9/11. The Al Qaeda hijackers were right, but he's got a lot of followers. Don't you get it, Abby Phillips? He's got a lot of followers, and if he tells his followers to vote Democrat, hey, I've never heard such honesty since that one clip from MSNBC's Ed Schultz, who's no longer with us. Ed Schultz, he was getting very upset on the air one day on his radio show, and it was being nationally televised on C-SPAN this particular day. Remember Ed Schultz, the liberal jerk? He used to be on MSNBC, and he was calling Democrats during the break low information voters, and he forgot he was on TV live and his mic was hot. He was calling Democrat voters low information voters that he could say anything to and they'd believe. Low information voters. Oh my goodness. And that's the way they talk when they're private. All right, let's get back to this. Bernie Sanders, let's see what else he says.
To give you an example, one of the more controversial ones is that Piker has said America deserved 9/11. Are you comfortable with that association?
No, I am not. I think that's a dumb statement. On the other hand, he has a whole lot of followers, and there's a lot of things that he's saying that are making sense to a lot of people.
Oh.
I think, we have to get above cancel culture. When you're doing radio, whatever they do,
podcast 3 hours a day. You say dumb things.
Okay, now I'm on the air between 4 and 6 hours a day, because you guys that watch me on YouTube, between the morning show here on the radio and my podcast and everything, I'm on the air 5 to 6 hours a day. I never say anything stupid. Not like that. When's the last time I said something stupid? I'd love to hear it. 1990 something? I don't know. When's the last time I said something? Not something you disagree with, but I mean something stupid to the equivalent of what Hassan Piker said, that America deserved 9/11.
To give you an example, one of the more controversial ones is that Piker has said America deserved 9/11. Are you comfortable with that association?
No, I am not. I think that's a dumb statement. On the other hand, he has a whole lot of followers, and there's a lot of things that he's saying that are making sense to a lot of people. I think, we have to get above cancel culture. When you're doing radio, whatever they do, podcast 3 hours a day, you say dumb things. I suspect when you go back over your career, there may be one or two things that you said that you may have regretted. But I think what we have got to do is look at the totality of where people are coming from and go forward.
So when someone like James Carville says he doesn't want to be in the same political party as Hassan Piker, which one are you going to take?
Well, that's not much of a choice. If Mr. Carville doesn't want to be in my party, the party that I belong to, that Piker, that Syed belongs to,
Syed.
start his own party. But
Oh my goodness. The only time that we've ever heard Bernie Sanders be honest, without question, was right there. Yeah, but he's got a lot of followers, Abby Phillips. Wow. That's see, it's what the late great Rush Limbaugh used to say. Right? Remember what Rush used to say? All Democrats care about is power. And whatever, this is what Rush used to talk about this every day on his show. All Democrats care about is power, and whatever they got to do to stay in power, they will do it. They will align themselves with whoever they want to align themselves, whoever they got to align themselves with, whatever they got to do to stay in power. Whether it's a guy who supports the 9/11 hijackers, they're okay as long as they have enough followers. Now, I was talking earlier, and some of you may think, that I'm crazy when I say this. They're thinking about running Abdul for president. I am serious as a heart attack. Let me pull this up. This is Joy Reid covering the victory in the primary the other night of Abdul. Joy Reid, who is not only bald, she has a severe receding hairline. That's a tough thing she's going through there.
Let me tell you right now, Abdul El Sayed is now the projected winner. Yep, he just said it when he's the projected winner. There's not enough left. That's it. That's it. No, yes, it's done. He is the projected winner. NBC News online is saying it. I'm sure we don't have to put him up. It's done. That's it. We're done. Okay, so it is now official. Steve Kornacki has said it. We've said it here. You guys got to watch it happen live on air. Abdul El Sayed, it is an unbeatable race. And let me tell you how it happened. In the end, you can say what you want about the voters of Wayne County, Michigan, which it obviously includes Dearborn, which is about 8 to 9% of the total. But the big vote is Detroit. And Haley decided to...
Now listen to what she says here, Joy Reid, Tuesday night.
She did not. She won Detroit. She won the Detroit suburbs. She won all the Detroit suburbs. I'm going through each of them. Oakland County, Macomb County.
And she won the black vote and the Hispanic vote.
Wayne County. She won all the Detroit suburbs. Monroe County. She won all those little suburbs. She even won a few of the exurbs, but not by enough. In the end, what Raj was talking about, that 4-point victory, Raj is now 51-46. That is her margin in Wayne County. That's not even close to the margin that she would have needed. But this is the equivalent, Raj, of Barack Obama winning North Carolina in 2008. This is
Okay, hear that?
an earthquake. This is an earthquake that just toppled the $60 million AIPAC queen.
Okay, so she says this is equivalent to Obama. She said North Carolina. That was the primary that Obama won that paved the way for him to get the nomination to be president. Okay, so you hear Joy Reid is making comments about that Abdul running for president. He was born in Michigan, so he is eligible. You can see, that's where that's what I'm telling you. It's not just me saying it. These Democrats are planning on running Abdul for president. Now, I want to talk to those of you out there that are suffering with pain. Go see Dr. Appleton. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain like I've done. You know, his robotic laser wave pain treatment works without shots, without injections, without drugs, without surgery, without downtime, and is completely painless. You don't even feel the laser treatment while it's happening. And my favorite part is it works. Every time I've gone in there, whether it's my arthritis, pain from a car accident in my knee, falling off my skateboard, whatever it is, he rid me of pain. None of the pains have ever returned, and he's been treating me for years and years. Now, one of the pains from the first to the last has come back. He's rid me of the pain, and none of them have returned. He can do the same for you. Remember, appointments are not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. If you, the consultation's free, and if you have scans or x-rays, bring them with you, okay? He'll gladly look at them. Here's his number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, come back with more of your calls and more about Abdul. And I've got a couple other stories we're going to touch on as well. The number 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back right after this break. Okay, hang in there, guys. Stand by, guys. We'll be back shortly. A little over a minute. We're still in radio break for the top of the hour. I've got some other I'm going to take a call or two, and I've got some other stories I gotta touch on when we get back as well. We got about 1 minute. That was crazy. There we go. About 30 seconds and we'll be back. Oh man, oh man. Hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free and pinned in the live chat, all right? Toll-free and pinned in the live chat, yep. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brandon, Missouri.
All right, Missouri. What's on your mind? Oh, got to be a Democrat.
Obama 2028.
What'd you say, Obama 2028? That sounds good to me. Yeah, run him. Yeah. What are you going to run on with Obama in 2028?
Mass deportations.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what Trump ran on. So you agree with President Trump?
No, we kick all the white people out.
Well, that would include you, right? Are you white?
No, I'm black.
You're black? Why do you want white people kicked out?
Well, we were here first, actually.
Black people?
Because we were
black? Wait a minute. Black people were in the United States before the white settlers and stuff? How'd that happen?
Well, Yakub ended up...
All right, that's what I thought. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Are they listening to us in the marijuana stores in Missouri? Because I think they are. All right, now if you're on hold, stand by. Oh my goodness. Now that guy's as white as I am, I promise you. Now on yesterday's show, I was talking about this assassination attempt on the president in California, and it was a pretty serious one. We got more details on the assassin who is in custody, and when I was covering it yesterday, I was telling you guys that it sounded like a professional operation, the golf course assassination. Now we find out that the guy's a Marine. So he had the training. Okay, he had the training. He had, and he had some other things too, because there's something about this guy that I wanted to throw this out. Okay, this is in the New York Post. This is the Trump assassin at the golf course in California, the latest assassination attempt on the president, okay? The armed man accused of scouting President Trump's Southern California Golf Club is a decorated Marine who imagined himself working federal security details while documenting surveillance logs. The papers have learned here he served in Iraq, he served in Afghanistan, and he was in the Marine Corps for 8 years and was discharged as a corporal. Now, what I wanted to throw out, this guy sounds like the perfect person for the powers to be to recruit, right? He's a Marine, so he has the training, right? All Marines are riflemen and all of that. But when I saw that he imagined himself working federal security details, imagined himself working in the federal security service for somebody, Secret Service or something. And after 8 years in the Marines, he was a corporal, an E4. Now, I'll throw this out to you guys, but that seems a bit of a low rank after 8 years of service in the Marine Corps, doesn't it? A corporal's an E4, and after 8 years, shouldn't you be a sergeant or a staff sergeant at that point? How many people serve 8 years in the Marines and leave as a corporal? That seems to be a guy that had some problems. Now, I haven't seen why he was a corporal after 8 years, and I'm curious to know what led to him leaving the Marine Corps. There's photos of him. He was constantly training with weapons, but he's the perfect person for them to recruit because he's kind of like he's a loser, right? He's a grown man who fantasizes himself working in some type of federal security detail. He's a failed Marine who only after 8 years reached the rank of corporal. You know, so when you're a grown man who's fantasizing about your life, like some of these lunatics that call me on the air, you want to be somebody. You want to be somebody important. And that's the perfect type of person to be a patsy for whoever recruited him. He could be somebody. And the way that he was handling this, you know, where he was taking photographs and videos, and he had a badge, and he had all these guns. The rifle that they found at his home didn't have any serial numbers on it. It was never registered anywhere. Not serial numbers filed off or acid off or some attempt. There were never serial numbers on the rifle. That was in the original story that came out. Everything about this guy, to me, sounds like a professional job. Doesn't it to you? Absolutely. So, you know, and when I saw that he was really a failed Marine, that he, after 8 years, if he was in for 4 years and was a corporal, okay, but 8? I've never heard of someone being in the service, in the Marine Corps, for 6 or 8 years and getting out as a corporal. Now, the Marines, I understand the Marines don't promote as fast as some of the other branches because the Marine Corps is smaller than the Army and such. But that's E4's very low rank after 6 to 8 years in the Marines. So this guy had some problem in the Marine Corps, and he may have been forced out. I didn't see anything about his discharge. Was it an honorable discharge? Was it a general discharge? Was it a dishonorable discharge? I haven't heard anything about the status of his discharge, but I'd be very curious to know what that is and why he was only a corporal after between 6 and 8 years, why he was only a corporal. And I'd also like to know, and I haven't seen any details on this either, what kind of jobs this guy had. A guy like this probably gets jobs at, trying to be a security guard or something. And I'd like to know I would not be surprised if he had applied and was rejected to police departments. I'm putting together a profile here, if you haven't noticed. I'm like putting together a FBI profile on this guy. And the photographs you see of him, he walks around like he is on somebody's security detail. They found some photographs of him on his Instagram, and he definitely was living the cosplay life of being somebody. So they come to him and say, here's your chance to be somebody. He is the perfect person for them to recruit for this operation. And the way he was carrying himself was a little too much confidence. And remember, this is the second golf course assassination attempt on the president. We had the attempt here in Florida, and now this one in California. So anyway, we'll take our break, and when we get back, we'll talk more about that, take your calls. If any of you out there are Marines, and doesn't 8 years in the Marines, 6 to 8 years in the Marines, is corporal kind of a low rank after 6 to 8 years in the Marine Corps? I think it is. I want to talk about Sloman Central Air Conditioning. Oh man, I tell you, It's hot and humid, and I don't know how it is at your house, but at my house, we there's one day a year we don't use the air conditioning. That's Florida. This time of year is the hottest time of year. And if your air conditioning is running all day, that means it's not working properly. Do you have rooms in your home that no matter how long your air conditioning is running, they're still hot? Or is your AC just blowing hot air? Give Sloman Central Air Conditioning a call. And with the deal they're offering, there's no excuse. Listen to this. Sloman Central Air Conditioning is offering a high-efficiency 5-ton 18-SEER system that uses R454B refrigerant for just $59.99. I know, low price, just $59.99. With zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for 18 months. It also comes with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper service plan, which includes annual system maintenance, filter replacement, and refrigerant, so you have no annual maintenance cost. And you'll also receive the Sloman Shield home security system installed with 5 years of professional central station monitoring included with your AC package. This is an incredible deal. Give them a call right now, 561-217-COOL. That's C-O-O-L. 561-217-COOL. 561-217-COOL. My name is Brian, Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be back right after this. All right, hang in there, guys. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll get to some calls. Okay. Okay, we have 1 minute and we'll be back, guys. We're still in radio break, so hang in there. Okay, 1 minute and we'll be back. Less than a minute now. Yep, the number's pinned in the live chat if you'd like to call in. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Toll-free call no matter where you are located. 30 seconds. Oh yeah, the liberals have lost their minds. I mean, there's no getting around that. 15 seconds, guys. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Chris from Pompano Beach.
Oh, hey, Chris. What's up?
Speakerphone. Right, no, that 100%. There's no way 8 years corporal without trouble discharges court martials. It's highly probable he has a dishonorable discharge. But
There's something wrong with
you're dangerously
him.
close. Oh, absolutely. Sergeant was pinned on me 4.5 years, and I'll say this: in fact, you're dangerously close at 8 years if you're not above sergeant. If you're not ready for that or in line for staff sergeant, you'll be exiting.
Oh, okay. They have
After
the
that.
Marines have the up or out policy. Like if you don't
Oh,
get
yes,
promoted,
if
you're
you're
out. Yeah.
Absolutely, and there's lots of ways. Like my buddy, I just came from Georgia as sergeant. He went to the drill field to train Marines at boot camp. I was in the enlisted commissioning program, so had I stayed in, I would have, by 8 years, I would have been a first lieutenant.
So this
no,
guy,
there's no way.
this guy is to me. When I look at everything he was doing at the golf course, it seemed like he was too confident, like he was recruited. And you look at him, he's the perfect recruit for these evildoers against the president, a failed Marine who fantasizes of being somebody important.
Well, absolutely. I'm glad you used the word fantasize because they use seriously wannabe character. And I mean, we have psyche valves, a whole 9 yards. So, I mean, listen, the Marine Corps, they don't want you to go to combat with a toothache. I had to replace Sergeant Christensen once because they had dental issues. You have to be 100%. They don't mess around. So 4 years,
And
E4.
and he had
I'm
been
sorry, 8 years.
It was between 6 and 8 years. Some reports say 8, some say 6. So but there's a very little
That's still
detail.
bad.
There's something up
still
there,
bad. 6 years,
and they're describing him as a decorated Marine. I don't know what that means, and what they mean by that. And if he's so highly decorated, why was he only a corporal after so many years? This guy either was a complete messed up dude that never got promoted, or he got demoted.
Exactly. And those when they say decorated, just for being overseas without combat like I was, you get a sea service deployment ribbon just for that alone.
Yeah, theater
So,
ribbons
and
and stuff.
decorated doesn't mean that he did anything outstanding, but he was participating. And they said he was over in Iraq and Afghanistan. So that's enough to be decorated without doing anything special, not like a Navy Cross or anything like that. Or
Yeah. But it kind of aggravates me a little bit because, I would expect Pete Hegseth and Kash Patel to come out and tell us everything about this guy by now. There's been, I want to know, and when you look at these, there's 4 assassination attempts that the same people have their signature on them, right? We've got 2 golf courses right now, and we've got Butler was a carbon copy of the Charlie Kirk thing. All right, Chris, I appreciate the call. You take care. So, these 4 assassinations, Butler and Charlie Kirk, pretty much the same. And now we got 2 golf courses, which was very similar as well. So when you see a pattern and a signature, it looks like the same people are behind these assassinations. Right? At least it looks that way to me. Now, I saw a story in Breitbart today, and this one really ticked me off. And it's about Max Miller. And this is in Breitbart. Senators back Senator Moreno in calling for the resignation of Max Miller in the House. Now, I don't know about I don't really have a strong opinion about Max Miller and all of these things they're saying. I know that when people... Moreno is his former father-in-law, right? He was married to the daughter. When people are going through custody battles and divorces, people say the most outrageously crazy things about each other, especially when there's children involved. So when people are throwing out allegations during divorces and custody battles, I take it with a grain of salt. But and I'm seeing all these attacks on Trump-endorsed people, right? Byron Donalds in Florida, that stunt they pulled with Vivek that I talked about earlier this week when he was giving a speech, and now Max Miller. So I'm not going to judge a man. Now, if the wife, she made some comments like statements like he pulled a gun on her. If he pulled a gun on her, why didn't she call the police? Why didn't Senator Moreno call the police? If my daughter called me and said that her husband, boyfriend, fiance, ex, anyone pulled a gun on her, you know what I would do? I would get in my car, I would drive there immediately, and I'd call the police myself. There's no way I would let my daughter go without filing a police report and getting that taken care of, because that's a pretty scary thing. But what really, so I'm very suspect about all this stuff with Max Miller, although who knows, but I'm not gonna make it. The primary is right around the corner, and they're trying to get Max Miller to drop out of the primary literally days before the election. And that's too soon. I mean, that's just messed up. I mean, why didn't they do this before? They're doing it now? I'm very suspect of this. But the other thing about it, and who would get plugged in? I'd like to know too. I haven't heard them. Who would replace Max Miller? Right? Max Miller was endorsed by the president. But the thing that really ticks me off about this update today is how these senators are united with Moreno to get Max Miller, who's in the House, to drop out. Why aren't these senators united to get behind John Thune dropping out and abolishing the filibuster and get the Save America Act passed? And when I see a group of Republican senators get together to purge Max Miller out of the House of Representatives and get him to drop out of the primary, when Thune is doing what he's doing, that ticks me off. Because the Save America Act will solve about 90% of America's problems, and you know this. Most of the problems we have is because we don't have voter ID requirements to vote, we don't have citizenship requirements to register, and that's one of the biggest problems, and that's how people like Abdul here get elected and win primaries. How many people, as an example, Abdul won in Michigan in the college towns, right? How many of those college students are not residents of Michigan? That's a big problem. That's part of the Democrat op. College students sometimes they vote twice. They're registered at college and they're registered where they're from at home. Some of them are out of state. How many in the Muslim community that voted for him are not citizens? We don't know, because we don't have the Save America Act. If we had a citizenship requirement to register to vote and the ID as the law to vote, would Abdul have won the primary? Maybe, maybe not. But this is the kind of thing that would clean everything up. So when I see these senators united against a Republican to get him to drop out of the primary a couple days before the primary, when they should be united against John Thune to force him to suspend the filibuster and vote on the Save America Act, we've got the votes with J.D. Vance to pass it. That should tick everybody off. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Dr. Gupta over at Brighton Dental. Dr. Gupta has been with us for many, many years here on the Steve Kane Show. And, the thing about Dr. Gupta, he is our family dentist here on the Steve Kane Show. And it is a family practice owned and operated by Dr. Gupta. He does incredible work, and he does it at family-friendly prices as well. He's got all the latest dental equipment and everything, but he still is family-friendly, not just with his bedside manner, but with his prices, which is really amazing. And in this day and age, so many of your family dental practices have been bought up by big companies. And you go to the dentist, it's the same dentist you've been seeing for years. You think it's his family practice, but it's not. It's this big company, and that's why they've jacked the prices up so much. You got to pay for them to buy up all these practices all over the place. With Dr. Gupta, it is a family-owned practice owned by Dr. Gupta and his family. His work is spectacular, and his prices are family-friendly. Give Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental a call. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633 for Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and come back with more right after this. We had just over a minute, guys. We'll be back. All right, about 30 seconds. 20 seconds, guys. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. So, this Democrat socialism that we're being fed, we're being told that it's popular and mainstream. Nothing could be further from the truth. Did you see what happened to Mamdani in Staten Island yesterday? I mean, this guy should still be on, if he's as popular as the election would make you believe and as the media want you to believe, you would think that he would still be on the high of winning the election. He went to a night out on crime event put together by the NYPD in Staten Island, and he got booed off the stage. Listen. Boo, I got to stop it there because some profanities come, but the boos were so loud, he got off the stage and got out of there right away. He may have never had a job or done too much in his life other than be told how great he is by mommy and daddy that were giving him participation trophies, but he knew that was not a place that he was welcome. And the thing though about Mamdani, where people make the mistake, is Mamdani's not so concerned with being successful as mayor. He doesn't really care. He's for something bigger, and being the Muslim mayor is what he's most concerned about. Although he probably would like to run for that Senate seat instead of AOC that Schumer has. I mean, I'm sure he's got his eye on that, but he's not really. Mamdani, he views himself as a historical figure. He's very self-important, and the real damage that he does in this term as mayor, we're probably not going to know about until after he's gone. It's like Obama, right? 8 years of Obama, and the Obama 8 years seemed very kind of almost boring, like he didn't do too much. Tried Obamacare, that failed, and then we found out he did a lot, right? He brought millions of Muslims into the country and put them in key areas to change the demographics of states, Minnesota, Michigan, New York City. And what he was really doing was that behind the scenes when no one was looking, right? And that was his main focus. And Mamdani is probably a similar thing. We're not going to know the true damage that he's done until after he's out of office years from now. Now, I was talking about this Marine assassin at the golf course that was planning a plot against the president over the weekend. And here's a story out of the Orange County Fair in Southern California. And this one, I just couldn't, where the liberals' head is right now is in a place I've never seen it. The liberals have always had boundary problems. They make no mistake about it. The Democrats have always had all kinds of issues. But I've never seen it quite like this on this issue. This is in Breitbart, okay? Southern California Republicans found at the Orange County Fair And they found this because there was a controversy. The California Republicans tried to rent a booth at the Orange County Fair, and they were denied, so there were some eyes on the fair. There is art at the Orange County Fair in their art room, which is a framed photo calling for the death of the President of the United States. On Monday, the Orange County Republican Party sent the fair's governing board a letter, a strongly worded letter. They need to do more than write a letter protesting this photograph. The anti-Trump photograph shows a child holding a sign that reads something I can't say. I could say it, but I'm not going to say it, about the president, next to another sign of President Trump and some other anti-Trump things. But it's a sign, it's a photograph with some writing on it about the death of the president. And this is on display in the art room at the fair, right? And where the liberals have really lost everything is when their top two people right now are Hassan Piker and Abdul, they don't have a grown-up in their party that's in charge, right? You know, Hakeem Jeffries he's not a charismatic guy. They don't have a charismatic leader who can take charge and say, okay, this isn't appropriate. You can't say that. You can't do that. So basically, you have a bunch of hardcore, angry lunatics that are just running amok doing anything without anyone putting the brakes on. And they're completely out of control. And everything we're seeing right now, though, shows that if we have a massive turnout and swamp them at the polls, we're going to gain seats in both houses, because without having a leader that can get control of this lunacy that's going on inside their party, right? They don't have an organization that can bring them to victory in the midterms, on top of the popularity of Trump, on top of the redistricting that we've done. There's a lot of things that have been done that make it difficult for them anyway, but without any leadership getting them in control, they have no hope of winning anything. And this photograph at the fair in the art room, you know, the art room at the fair, it's not adults, it's children's artwork. This is a child's photograph that they put up there and wrote these things on. And it shows a complete loss of perspective with the Democrats. All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Jonathan. I'm from Tennessee.
All right, Tennessee, what's on your mind?
Hey, remember like 2 or 3 months ago when you said that President Trump has brought peace to the Middle East?
He has.
That's aged pretty well.
He
right?
has. Yeah, it has. Yeah. Yeah, he has. Look, when is the last time? Oh. What is that? One of those? When is the last time? When is the last time that you saw a homicide bomber in Israel blow up Jews?
That's the measuring stick for peace in the Middle East.
Well, he ended the war. He ended the war between the Israelis. He ended the war between the Israelis and the Palestinians in Gaza, and there have not been any terrorism acts committed over there since then.
How many troops were killed?
No. Excuse me. I answered your question. I answered your question. You didn't answer mine. Appreciate the call. You know, and the guy asked, he doesn't mean to, but, you know, broken clock, he, by accident, asked a very good question, right? He asked a very good question. And if you look at what's going on, the Islamic terror around the world has been pretty much non-existent, right? Since we took down Iran. They don't have the ability to do it. Finally, yeah, I know, that was an evil laugh. It sounded like the laugh that those fake teeth that you used to wind up, that you used to get. Remember those? Like the Halloween stores or magic shops, you would wind up those teeth, and they'd laugh. But there has not been any, to speak of, Islamic terrorism around the world since the Ayatollah was killed and Iran was taken out. And I've been telling you guys all week, Iran is now at the level of being a nuisance, not a threat. And believe me, that if the Iranians had the ability to get Islamic terror attacks going on around the Middle East or the world, they would. And outside of Iran, who's been receiving a lot of bombs, there has been relatively a peaceful time in the Middle East. The Iranians have gotten off a couple of lucky shots here and there with whatever rockets they could piece together that had not been blown up, or putting together weapons from other damaged weapons that we blew up, but not all the way. But no, there's been very little action by the Iranians. It's been very peaceful outside of Iran, that's been the receiver of the bombs that we've been dropping. So no, I would say that President Trump has brought a lot of peace to the Middle East. Wouldn't you? Looks like that to me. But you know, when you hear these liberals like that guy with that psychotic evil laugh that he had there, right? And if you listen to the liberals that have been calling the show lately, each one of them is just a little bit crazier than the liberals were the day before, right? I mean, when is the last time you've heard a Democrat call this program, or any type of liberal call this program, that didn't sound a bit off? I know they all sound. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're devolving as time goes on, because things aren't going according to plan for them. Now, believe me, if Iran had the ability to launch Muslim terror attacks around the Middle East and the world, they'd be doing it. And I was expecting that, weren't you? When this air campaign against Iran began, I figured they were going to unleash their global Islamic terror network, but they haven't been able to do it. Right? They have no Jews, probably because they don't have money, they can't get money out, so they can't transfer money or weapons, and we've taken out so much of their leadership, they're not able to organize outside of their own country anymore. So no, I would say that the Middle East has been relatively peaceful outside of Iran, who's taking the hits from all of the bombs. I want to take a moment, guys, to tell you all about Friendly Tire and Margate. You know, Friendly Tire is amazing. All the cars in my family are on the road on Friendly tires, and yours should be too. And you know, he can get tires for any type of vehicle. I have seen every type of car you can imagine. All right, from rust buckets that have broken ACs in them, to Porsches and SUVs and EV, everything. I mean, whatever type of vehicle you have, Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire can get you the tires for it. He does incredible work, and you can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. And remember, when I say out the door and on the road, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tires. And you know, he's got to pay a guy per tire to take the old tires away. I didn't know that. I figured that it was some kind of thing you could recycle, and somebody was like very excited to take he's got to pay someone per tire. I'm not going to tell you how much, because he told me, and I was surprised. I was shocked, especially when he told me how much per tire. So, but he doesn't charge you anything. Doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tire. So the price that Friendly Tire quotes you over the phone is the final out the door price, okay? And again, brand new tires as low as $75 a tire. He's got thousands of good used tires in stock as low as $35 a tire. That's out the door and on the road as well. And he also does tire repairs. Give Friendly Tire a call right now. Friendly Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. We'll be right back. All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with today's Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking?
Metals looking very exciting as we continue to break out to new highs. The markets yesterday giving us a strong breakout above some resistance areas for gold at least, and that being seeing a trading range of $4,065 on the low for gold all the way up to $4,269, closing out the day at $4,246.20, which was up $169.60 just for the one day. So far this week we've been up about $225 for gold. Silver closing up $2.51 yesterday at $61.92. Silver hasn't broken out per se against its resistance. Still need to get it above about $64, but behaving very well and getting pulled up really nicely with gold's big move. Platinum up $2 yesterday at $1,730. Platinum had a nice up day a couple days ago with going up over $100 on Tuesday. And palladium up $18 yesterday, closing at $1,347. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $4,245 on the low to $4,305 on the high.
Wow.
And then currently we're up $19.80 at $4,266 the ounce for gold. Silver down 37 cents at $61.55. Platinum up $3 at $1,733, and palladium up $11 at $1,358. So pretty much all of the metals breaking out to this trading range that we've been in for quite a while this summer, and looks like we could be pushing much higher.
Oh, absolutely. Everything is priced to buy. William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in at his shop in Boca, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building. And when you enter the bank building, William Youngerman is right across the lobby from the bank. The address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. You can also call him toll-free after 10 o'clock, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. And find both his address and phone number online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll finish out the week tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, you too. Take care, take care. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. JJ from Maryland.
Oh, hey, JJ. What's up?
Well, this Max Miller, you just brought up what they're doing. To me, I just see that as a, rhinos unite. They're pissed off about, Trump got rid of a couple of them. And to me, it's just, anytime they can get, not just the rhinos, obviously the Democrats as well, but, a win for them is just basically when they can do something that makes it look like Trump failed, whether it's, reality, like, that's all.
Well, Marino, who's the senator from Ohio, a couple things. He had that good showing with Fauci last week. He's the one that said, "Who the F do you think you are?" And he went to high school in Pompano. A lot of people don't know that Marino went to high school in Pompano at, what's that fancy private school? I just forgot I just forgot the name of it, but he went to that fancy private school over in Pompano, which is fine. That means, and he graduated a couple years before me, so we traveled in the same circles, kinda. I didn't go to the fancy private school. I went to the ghetto. But regardless, he had a good showing with Fauci the other day, which was the first time I really noticed him. And so, that Fauci event, a lot of us are like, oh, we like this guy. And then he comes out a week later and wants Max Miller out. If he got to, hey, listen, it's his daughter. I get it. But I want to see them rallying against Thune, not a Republican in the House, a couple days before the primary.
Yeah, I think the personal, what you were talking about, family matters like that, emotions run very high. And if it was my daughter, I'd be the same as you.
Normal people get psychotic during divorces and child custody discussions.
Yeah. Especially when if it was my baby girl, forget it. And I don't even, for me, even if she's done something wrong in the moment, that doesn't matter. That's my daughter, and Hell and Fury are coming with me. So that's just when that stuff happens. That you just kind of have to let that almost like I think even Trump said, that's family. We're going to let them settle that.
Well, because he knows. I mean, look at what Trump's first wife said about him when they were going through the divorce, right? And then she recanted it years later, right?
He's got experience in it. He knows the things that can happen, and a lot of things get said in the heat of the moment. That a couple of years later, it's sort of like life can be complicated and all this.
Yeah.
This guy too. I'm going to say, but that type of mentality, a win or a perceived fail or whatever, it's the same thing with this guy Abdul from Michigan. I mean, he's kind of like the Reverend Abdul Al Sharpton. He's a con man, grifter extraordinaire. It's just a cookie cutter. It's the Democrat platform where he's using the same damn platform. It's all you're a phobe, Islamophobe, thisophobe, thatophobe. How dare you? I'm calling the morality police, and he gets.
Yeah.
And they think they have won, but they're desperate for a win, and they think that's.
Well, and this is the reality that people don't Americans are afraid of Muslims. That's it. I mean, it's just the way it is, and whether you think
I wouldn't call that when you call something a phobia, it's an unreasonable fear.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's not unreasonable to be upset about Muslims, laying down a rug.
Well, one of the clips I played of him, get all these videos. I didn't even play everything I have, and there'll be more. This when he was speaking to that care group, and he was upset that they had passed a law in I can't, was it Montana, one of the states, outlawing Sharia law. He was outraged that Sharia law had been outlawed in one of our states in the United States. That shows he's not one of us, okay? And when I say one of us, I know he was born in Michigan, but is he really, what do they call them, Michigander? I don't think so. That's not how Americans think.
In the jihad. He's kind of like he's kind of like Obama. Obama was groomed, that you got the weather underground. This kid, I believe, was groomed. I mean, we talked about him a month or so ago. He looks like he's right out of Central Casting. If he didn't speak a little Arabic or what, I mean, you wouldn't. You could look at him, and he could have been the star.
Well, see, this is the thing. Mamdani can't run for president because he was born in Uganda. This guy can. He's because he was born in Michigan, and what happens is his parents are from Egypt, and this guy is a hardcore Muslim activist. He's arguing for Sharia law. He's speaking Arabic all the time. He wants to, get rid of AIPAC so that Israel will collapse. I mean, what he is. He's a I don't know if it's first or second generation, but he's the first generation operative. He's an operative for the bad guys, and his parents came here, and he was born here, so he's a natural born U.S. citizen. Yes, absolutely.
This guy, he's dangerous to me because he's clean cut. He's Central Casting, except for normal people who know a few things. But the problem with this, politics has turned into like a mentalist mind game, like a psychological warfare.
Well, listen, I'm running short on time, so I got to run. But you make some good points. I probably shouldn't because let me take a quick call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, you okay? No, we don't. No, not you. Oh my goodness. Sometimes you guys can't hear everything I can hear. I want to talk about life imaging, and this is so important. Let me tell you, when I went to life imaging and had my heart scan and I got a clean bill of health, right? No blockage, no plaque buildup. I cannot tell you what a weight that was, not only off my shoulders, but my wife, my daughter, my mother, my in-laws, everybody in the family thought I was a heart attack waiting to happen, especially at my age, right? Can't tell you how many guys my age, they have heart attacks, and if they survive, most of the time they drop dead. The younger you are with a heart attack, the more likely you are to. But I've never heard someone say, "Oh, we knew that heart attack was coming." I've never heard that. Everyone is always shocked when that heart attack comes because they say, "Well, hey, they were at the gym 3 times a week. They golfed every weekend, and they didn't even go for the early morning. They went for the midday cheap tea time, and it's hot. It's 100 degrees, and they were out there every week golfing. In the middle of the day, we had no idea until he died. It's crazy. And when I got my clean bill of health for my heart scan, let me tell you, it was a relief. And it's given me my life back in so many ways, because I'd go out on a hot day and do some work outside, and the heat would start to bother. I'd come in, I'd tell my wife, I can't, because my cholesterol's been so high my whole life. And when I got that heart scan and found out that I have no plaque buildup and no blockage, I know that, hey, I can go and do things that I was afraid to do before. And of course, if you find out you have blockage, which many people in this audience have found out, you can go to the doctor and you can take care of it and get treated before you have that widowmaker heart attack. Call Life Imaging. Life Imaging have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach County, as well as Orlando. So there's no excuse. And when you're at Life Imaging, make sure you ask about their full body cancer screening and virtual colonography, okay? And say goodbye to sedation. Call now for your free heart scan with a few minimum requirements, valued at $699. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan and you will be connected in seconds. All right, listen, we're about out of time for today. And after that one call I just took, I'm not going to take another one in the last 90 seconds or so of the show. But tomorrow is Friday already. I can't believe it. And every Friday is open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in on tomorrow's show about any and everything on your mind, okay? You're not limited to the topics we bring up. It's Open MAGA Mike Friday tomorrow. I can't believe tomorrow's Friday. But this thing about Abdul, don't worry about Abdul. This has been a great wake-up call to energize people in this country about how important this midterm election is. And if we swamp them at the polls, we are going to win. Now, what they're going to do with Abdul, this is how this goes from this point forward, because so many things are coming out. See, Abdul came up through the ranks in the era of the internet. So he's done nothing but publicly speak, and everything's been recorded for years. And you heard some of the things, some of the outrageous comment. He said, Jews, don't worry about your safety. I didn't know Jews were worried about their safety. Why should Jews be worried about their safety, Abdul? What are you talking about? And he's upset about Sharia law being outlawed in Montana, or wherever it was he was talking about. Why would that? What? I didn't think I thought you didn't want to bring Sharia law to the United States. Why should it bother you that it's outlawed if you weren't going to try to bring it here? The more that comes out about this guy, the more damaging it'll be to him. And Hassan Piker as well, okay? Because people are learning about what's really going on. But many on the left are going to try to pass him off as just some hardcore liberal. They're going to talk to him about abolishing ICE and driver's licenses for illegals. That's all a distraction. And there's going to be a lot more that comes out on this guy. Believe me. And it's all going to be in his words on tape, like many of the ones I shared with you today. And as I said, I didn't even get to all my stuff on him. Okay, I got a lot more that I didn't share today, and more will be coming out. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. That's right, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Call us on hold, hang in there. You'll be first in line on tomorrow's show on Open MAGA Mike Friday. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. God bless America and God bless Donald Trump. See you tomorrow. All right, guys. Hey, listen, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're new, welcome to the program. Make sure that you subscribe, all right? And everyone, please, before you go, make sure that you like the video, okay? When you like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found my channel. So please like the video, guys, okay? My name is Brian Craig. This is where